Today, we're going to be ranking the most useless starters in all of Pokemon, the grass starters, okay? Now, some might disagree, and those some will be very few, but in nearly every generation, besides maybe two, fire and water are both better. Let's get the worst one out of the way, and I don't even think that's a question. Chespin is just so... It's Chespin, okay? You have the best water starter of all time, and a pretty decent fire starter. It's pretty low on the list for fire starters. But this Chespin is just not okay. Now, 7, this might be a little biased, okay? I've never used this person. Yeah, this is the newest one, and I never used them. I mean, the starters from this generation were not great to start with, and this is the worst one of them. Hot take, Snivy. I know, like, Ash had him, but he's just a cocky little green turd. My bias has to end here. Chikorita can go in 5. I really like Chikorita, but it can't go any higher. Some might say it should go in the last spot. They'd be wrong, but some might say that. Number 4. Rowlet is pretty cool. I never really used this one either, but I know a lot of people like him. And his design is pretty cool once he evolves into his final form. Now, having Bulbasaur at 3 might be like, some people might have him at 1, but you're just old, okay? You're just old and you think the first generation is the best generation. Now, this is where it gets hard because this is easily the 2 best. Like, if I were to set them in sections, these ones would be S tier and every other one would be B tier or below. But just by the fact that this guy gets shredded, I played with this guy in the, whatever the new game is. I forgot what it's called. The ice Pokemon on the Cynthia's team literally just one-tapped me. It was not okay. And number 1, it's wild that the number 1 grass starter is arguably the worst starter in its generation. I think Gen 3 has the best starters of all time, and I don't think it's crazy to say that. We're doing the fire starter tier list, okay? I honestly think this is people's favorite starter. I don't even think that's like a question. I think most people prefer the fire starters, and I think they're wrong. I think they're basic. I think they chose Charmander as a kid and they can't get over that. Number 8 place, I don't even think it's crazy to say, Tepig. He was like the 37th firefighting in a row. He's cool. Besides his first form, all of them are just not okay. Bruh. Fennekin, I know in the grass one, I said that Fennekin was like cool and a pretty decent fire starter, but I lied to myself. Okay, it's cool, but it just doesn't compare to the rest of these guys, you know. 6, I got Litten. This is the starter I chose, but I still think the other 4 are just better. I know now that I literally have the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th generation. The newer generation starters are just sometimes worse, okay? It just happens. Huh? Now, having Bulbasaur at 3 might be like, some people might have him at 1, but you're just old, okay? You're just old and you think the first generation is the best generation. 5, Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil would be at the bottom of my list if I did not rewatch, like, the Pokemon, whatever one that Ash gets Cyndaquil in, because I did not like Cyndaquil at all. I think his evolutions are basic. I think that generation, out of the first 6 generations, have the worst starters, and I don't even think it's close. Okay, I'm realizing now that I was completely lied to, and Scorbunny is just not here.
Who's that Pokemon? It's...
Oh no.
And I know I said that this guy was at 8 because he's the 37th firefighting in a row, but Scorbunny would go at 4 for me, okay? He's a bunny and he's fire. Yeah, I mean, what else could you ask for? I don't have a picture on this, so I'm just gonna paste a random picture in. I don't really know what it's gonna look like at this point, so that's definitely something. Chimchar at number 3, I think is respectable, okay? I think up to this point, a lot of people would agree with them. I don't know about the 2 and 1. I think people would switch around where I would have them. And just by saying that, I think you know I'm having Charmander at 2 and Torchic at 1. Blaziken is the 2nd best starter of all time. I mean, Charizard is cool, but it's just so overhyped, okay? It's so overhyped that it brings it down for me. Like, he has one of the best megas in the game. Probably the best looking, the black and blue one. That one, it's just so nice. Blaziken is just... he's like that. Blaziken's like that. Okay, and finally, water. My favorite types, probably. Okay, I know this is hard for me because I know everyone else likes these 2, but they are my least favorite water types, and I have to put them at the bottom too. I don't know which one I like worse. I think I have to do Piplup. It's hard for me to do, okay? Because I know so many people like Piplup, but I think it's the worst starter out of its group of starters. You know, I don't think that's crazy to say. I mean, obviously, as you saw, the other 2 are 2 of my favorites. They're both in top 3. And at 7, I have Oshawott. I'm sorry. The only reason I have him above Piplup is because I don't think he's the worst. I think Tepig is way worse.
Bruh.
I said before that the Gen 2 had the worst starters out of the first 6. This one, Gen 5 is definitely the worst. Sobble. Okay, Sobble's number 6. Sobble's just kind of annoying, but I really like his evolution. I think Inteleon is very nice. He's very good. He's very intelligent. I cannot believe I just said that. I said before I chose Score Bunny, but then when I saw this final evolution, I was kind of mad that I did not choose Inteleon. But sometimes it happens like that, you know? Sometimes you just see the first evolution, and you're like, this guy looks way cooler than this guy, and you just choose him. Now, this one's hard for me. I'm in between 2 Pokemon, and I think you guys know what one of them is. And so I'll just say right now, one of them's Piplup. That is not Piplup. Poplio. And just because that, I forgot his name. He has to go there. I chose this guy. He's my favorite out of those starters. I think his final evolution is... I think all the final evolutions out of this gen, out of Gen 7, were pretty nice. I think Decidueye, I think is the best one. And number 4. I'm sorry I have to do this. Squirtle. It's crazy to say. It's crazy. I know it's crazy, okay? But Squirtle's so basic. Oh my, it's hard for me to put him down here. It's hard, but it has to be done. Squirtle is he's just water type the entire way through. And compared to these other 3, I'm pretty sure Feraligatr is also, he might not be. Let me look it up. Yeah, he's water all the way through too. But I think I have more sentimental value towards Totodile. He was the first starter I've ever, in any Pokemon game ever. First starter I ever done.
What do you mean by that?
And some might say he doesn't deserve to be on 3. Some might say he doesn't deserve to be 4. Some might say he doesn't deserve to be 5. Someone have him in their bottom 3, and I think they'd be wrong. But I'm not here to judge your opinions, okay? You're here to judge mine. And I already said what my favorite starter of all time is, so let's just put Mudkip in number 2. The craziest typing, Water Ground. How to even beat that? That's just not fair. But Froakie, Greninja. I'm starting to see what type of Pokemon I like by doing this list. Literally everyone is just I'm pretty sure they're just the fastest out of all the starters, but you know, it just be like that, okay? Okay, and for the final list, we're gonna rank the generations, okay? And in last place, like I said, not even close, I don't think. We got Gen 5, we got Tepig, we got Oshawott, and we got Snivy. They're all just like side character starters. There's not one main character starter out of all these guys. All right, next one, I think we got Gen 8. Maybe it's because it's new. Maybe it might grow on me in the future, but right now, they're still there, okay? Maybe later. We're gonna do Gen 4, my personal favorite grass starter of all time. I know I put Trico above him, but that's just because he's cool, you know? This is still my personal favorite. I've watched that Darkrai movie like 3 million times, so I've seen, like, oh my god, I do not know why I watched that Darkrai movie so many times. Another one, just based off of age, I definitely think if this one is a little bit older, it would be probably... maybe top 2. I know that's crazy. I don't think anything will actually break top 2. I think it might be top 3 because I feel like most people always have Gen 1 in their top 2. But Gen 7, I really like the starters in this one. We're down to Gen 6, Gen 3, and Gen 1. And sadly, I'm gonna have to put Froakie in the 3rd one because his side cast is just so underwhelming. Worst grass starter of all time, literally 2nd worst fire starter of all time. The only reason they're up this high, like if they did not have Froakie, they're probably the worst one. But Froakie is just that, he's just that guy. And Gen 2, or Spot 2, I'm putting Gen 1 because like they're all cool, but these are literally top 2 in every spot. I think 2 of them are number 1. 1 is number 2. You can't argue with this.